Hi everyone, welcome back to the Silence Challenge. We are on day 19 and today it's a little deep again, philosophical, with some very big words that I might struggle to read, so bear with me. I have just looked this up as well because it is quite philosophical to get a little bit more of an understanding of it. So I might kind of just offer that context. What we cannot speak about, we must pass over in silence, is the last sentence of Ludwig Wittgenstein's Tractatus Logico Philosophicus. So I managed to get that out. Ludwig Wittgenstein is an Austrian philosopher that wrote this book, the Tractatus Logico Philosophicus, in the 1900s, I think. Early 1900s. And what he means by that is what we cannot speak about, we must pass over in silence, is he was looking into the fact that language has its limitations. So when we are speaking about some things that are really not easy to articulate using language and that language has its limitations, we are better off not trying and we're better off being silent about it. So it's quite deep. It is an artful formulation. The book was first rejected by his publisher, maybe because Wittgenstein claimed that the manuscript had two parts, the part that was written and a part that had not yet been written, and that the last part was the more important part. Or perhaps because the publisher might have thought that it's precisely a philosopher who should be permitted to say that which others do not think speakable. It was the chatter that Wittgenstein overheard in the decadent bourgeois salons of Vienna at the start of the 1900s, which motivated him to draw such conclusions. Wittgenstein believed that the empty babble of his fellow countrymen threatened the very meaning of life. And I tend to agree with him. It is frighteningly easy to dispose of time. I kind of agree with that. I mean, in some respects anyway, in the concept and the subject of silence, we as humans often tend to fill it, don't we? When we come across other people, we fill the silence with just babble, senseless chatter and small talk. And I particularly struggle sometimes with small talk. We all do it at gatherings, but like when it's kind of just meaningless, we say the same things. Particularly here in the UK, we talk about the weather. What would it be like if we just said, just walk with me, you know, I'm happy, or sitting in the car when you're going on a journey, I'm just happy to sit in silence. You don't need to fill it. Would be quite a relief, wouldn't it? Tractacus was partly conceived in Skjolden at the end of Lustra Fjord, the innermost arm of the Norwegian Sonfjord water inlet. Nature, silence, and a distance from others shaped Wittgenstein and his philosophy. I cannot imagine that I could have worked in any other place as I have done here. It is the silence and perhaps the magnificent landscape. I mean its quiet gravity. The first time I heard his conclusions on staying quiet, I thought that Wittgenstein meant that we should relate passively to everything that we are unable to find words for. That seemed a bit clumsy. I found it difficult to understand that Wittgenstein could have reached such a conclusion from where he sat amongst the waterfalls, crags, and valleys, facing the fjord as he wrote. Of course, new horizons emerge beyond the unspoken. That is precisely where the fun begins. But I had misunderstood Wittgenstein, which perhaps wasn't so strange, considering that just after buying Tractacus, I had leafed through to the last page and just read the final sentence. I have since read everything that came before, and this is where Wittgenstein emphasises that we can show what we are unable to find words for. What can be shown cannot be said. Words create boundaries. My whole tendency, and I believe the tendency of all men who ever tried to write or talk ethics or religion, was to run against the boundaries of language. This running against the walls of our cage is perfectly, absolutely hopeless. By ethics, Wittgenstein means the very meaning of life. Not even science is able to find words for something like that. Ethics, so far as it springs from the desire to say something about the ultimate meaning of the life, the absolute good, the absolute valuable, can be no science. It must be shown, thought, and felt. It's another deep chapter, isn't it? So maybe have a little reflect on that while we sit in silence. You know, there aren't always words to describe everything. And sometimes it's more about what we feel. When we sit in nature, when we witness something, there are just no words oftentimes for that. So sit comfortably wherever you are, in a coffee shop, in the garden, out walking, and instead of maybe trying to think and to cognitize what you've just heard and to intellectualize, maybe just sit with how you feel, what you feel, and just with that felt sense rather than a narrative in your mind. We're going to sit for, I think, 2 minutes 40 today. So when you're ready, sit up, sit comfortable, or stand, whatever you are. Have a stretch, have a yawn. Maybe give yourself a little rub, have a shake out. Take a deep breath in and let that go. And we'll begin. That is it for today. 9 minutes 40 into the video. We started at 7 minutes, I think, so 2 minutes 40. Well done if you managed to make it to the end again of the chapter, the reading and the silence. Let me know how you felt if you were tapping into that. I know for me, I am someone that can get too much into my head, too much into thinking. So just connecting to your body, maybe using some self-touch, some soothing touch is useful for that, reducing that cognitive load. Let me know if you found today's video helpful, useful, if you enjoyed it, if you're enjoying sharing the silence space with me. It's Thursday today, so I will see you again tomorrow for our final session of the week, day 20. Take good care. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.